Hi there, this is Savoured Crypto. Right, I hope all my American friends had a good Thanksgiving, and it's Black Friday, so here we go. No special offers here. I've got nothing to sell, nothing, nothing like that at all. I've been trying to answer all the comments. I'm really sorry if I've just missed some of your comments and all that. But if I have, remind me by leaving another comment below this video. And by the way, while you're there, give the video a like and subscribe if you haven't. I've now got over 1,000 subscribers, which I never thought would happen. It's amazing, really. I mean, I started a YouTube channel just because I thought by me explaining things to other people, it might help me understand. And it does. And I didn't expect to have 1,000 subscribers. So thank you all. I'm really, really thankful. Well, there's been a few comments. I mean, most comments are very positive and all that. A lot of people are getting a little bit confused with the Denver strategy. You don't have to use a Denver strategy. You can use whatever strategy you like. If you Google something like Maiar DEX strategies, you'll find various things that other people are using. I like the Denver strategy. I think it's the most efficient way. Well, the most efficient way to get lots of MEX tokens, which I think are going to be worth a lot in the future. It's going to be like Uniswap or PancakeSwap, that kind of thing. At least I think it's just going to probably exceed those, to be honest. Now, a lot of people aren't quite getting the Denver strategy who want to use it. The link is in the description. You can Google it more. I can't really tell you much more than what I've told you already. It's not too tricky. I'm not quite getting part 2 of it yet, but I think we're a few months down the line before we have to deal with that. But if anyone can clarify that, I'd love to know. Now, sometimes when people do various swaps and things, they're not quite sure where their tokens are going and all that. And if you come up here, if you log into your Maiar DEX, if you come up here and go to balances, right, you can see everything you've got. Now, I've just done a harvest, right? So you can see here that I have some MEX, right, that I've just harvested, which is worth about $253. And I got some locked MEX that's worth about $251. A lot of people talked about when the locked MEX unlocks. If you hover over this eye here, it tells you. So you can see a 17% unlocks on December the 15th, 2022. And the rest unlocks after that. The wrapped eGold, what seems to happen is you need a little bit of eGold in your account to do the transaction fees. A few times when I've tried to harvest, it said you can't do this because of insufficient EGLD. I mean, what I've actually done, because I'm staking some EGLD on the Maiar app anyway, and I've just looked to see if I've got any rewards due, and if I've got like, you know, 40 or 50 bucks or something, then I've basically transferred that in, which has then covered the fees. There's one of the guys who commented, I think he's Fosam X or something. He did a little bit of research and he found out that every time you harvest, it costs about $2, regardless of the size of your harvest, you know. So bear that in mind. I mean, $2 isn't a lot, and if you think the minimum to harvest is $20, so I mean, maybe we should be looking at, you know, when you've got something like $100 or more dollars to harvest. In this one here I did this morning, this 251 plus 253, it was just over $500, but that's because I've been asleep all night. Now, when you do the harvesting, you do end up with a little bit of wrapped EGLD. If you need that for your fees, I mean, this is only 21 cents, but if you need that for your fees, you can just unwrap it there, and then you confirm it on your Maiar app, and that unwraps and all that, so you can get an extra bit of EGLD if you need it. The other thing to do is if you're doing the Denver strategy, when you turn your MEX into EGLD, you know, do about 99% of it or 95% of it, you know, don't do it all, so then you've got a little bit of EGLD to cover any fees you might have. Now, what you can also see here is the farms themselves. So this is where, like, you know, the majority of my money is in, and if you expand that arrow there, you can see my 4 farms here. Some people have asked how many farms you can have. I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I've said it lots of times, but, you know, I've got these 4 farms because I've got EGLD and MEX producing MEX. I've got EGLD and MEX producing locked MEX. I've got EGLD and locked MEX produce MEX, and I've got EGLD and locked MEX producing locked MEX. You get the idea. There's 4 combinations of each one. There's also this MEX staking as well. I only used that once by mistake, and I'm not going to use it again because the APR is much less than the EGLD MEX one. But anyway, the point being is you can see all the stuff you've got here. Now, if you have liquidity, let's show you. Right, so I've just withdrawn from the farm. Right, so I'm going to do my usual harvest thing, where I go over to swap. I'm going to swap my MEX. I'm going to swap all that for EGLD. Right, and then I'm going to go swap. Confirm that on my phone on the Maiar app. Okay, so that's done. Now, let's just go have a look here, because this is what I think people aren't quite getting. Now, you can see here the EGLD, there's $300 worth. There's a few extra cents of wrapped eGold, which comes from somewhere, I don't know. At the moment, there's no LP tokens. You can see my farms. Okay, so that's what it is. So now what I would do, I would provide liquidity. So I'm going to go add liquidity. And here's another little tip as well. If you use the LK MEX, if you're actually like me, producing just slightly more MEX than you are locked MEX, then that means that when you convert the MEX into EGLD, you've probably got slightly more than you need. So what I normally do is select the EGLD LK MEX pair, and then rather than clicking max there, I click max here. That will populate that. Now you can see here that the balance of EGLD is 0.7, and I actually only need 0.5. So that's going to leave some EGLD spare for the transaction fees. It's actually probably a little bit more than I need actually, but anyway, for the sake of the video, let's just leave it like that, and then add liquidity. And as usual, confirm this on the app. Sign transaction signed. Okay, so that's adding liquidity. Now what I've done before, I've just gone straight to the part where I stake it, but let's have a look here first, right? Now what you can see here, you've now got liquidity. So you've now got an EGLD MEX LP token. Now this is what you stake. This is what you stake in the farms, and this is what you can use to produce either MEX or LK MEX. Now I've noticed that a lot of people have been a bit trigger happy with the ×2 multiplier, and they've ended up with too much locked MEX, and they've got nothing they can convert into EGLD to create more LP tokens. But anyway, let's go over to the staking part. So let's go stake. Now I think what's happening here is some people who aren't quite getting the Denver strategy, they're going to stake, they're getting the LP token they've just made, and they're clicking max, and then they're clicking ×2. Don't do that, because if you do that, you'll end up with no straight MEX you can convert into EGLD. So if you put that on 33%, and then this one, because it's 33%, it's a third of your LP tokens, right? So you're going to multiply that by 2, stake that, confirm that on the app, sign transaction, okay. Right, adding farm stake. I know it seems like I'm repeating myself over and over again in each video, but I think the more times I show people this, the more it's going to sink in the whole process, because it is a little bit confusing. There are a lot of steps to it, I must admit. Right, now the other thing is you go stake, right? So this, again, I'm selecting the same LP tokens. I'm going to go maximum this time, because this is the other 2/3 that I don't want ×2, because this is going to produce MEX, right? So I go stake. Then I confirm that on Maiar. Right, sign transaction, continue. Transaction signed, adding farm stake. Yep, so I've got this pair doing $9, $9, and then $6, $6. All good. People were saying, how many farms can you have? As far as I can see, this is the 4 possible pairs I can have in the EGLD MEX one. I guess if you were doing EGLD USDC, you could have 2 farms. You could have EGLD USDC producing MEX, and you could have EGLD USDC producing locked MEX. With the straight MEX, yeah, you could have two farms here, couldn't you? You could have one producing MEX and the other one producing locked MEX. Obviously, the APR is smaller there; it's 435 compared to this 1,722, and the EGLD USDC is that's less than half of what the EGLD MEX one. So at the moment, I can't see why you would use these two. I mean, they might become relevant later on once this APR drops, but at the moment, yeah, I mean, that's the best way I can answer that question. But generally, the other problem I've seen people coming into, which is similar to what I mentioned before, is people are saying, where do I get the MEX from? And they're not getting any because they've clicked the ×2 multiplier on all their farms, so they're all getting locked MEX. And on its own, you can't do much with that. What you need the EGLD to combine with it to make these LP tokens. I keep repeating myself, which is why you've got 2/3 producing MEX and 1/3 producing locked MEX, because locked MEX gets combined with EGLD, and the EGLD comes from the 2/3 of the MEX that you then swap to EGLD. I hope that's clear. If it's not clear, look at the Denver strategy, follow my videos, and particularly the latter ones where I've got it right. In the initial ones, I did mess it up a little bit, but now I've got it all working quite smoothly. Okay, so this is what we're going to do until the APR drops to 150% here. And I think when it gets down to 150, I think the farms become not so efficient, and then that's why you have to move to the next part of the strategy, which is the part of the strategy I don't understand. But as I say, if anyone can clarify that, that'd be great. But we've got a few months to think about that anyway. So yeah, for the moment, that's it really. I'm trying to just make things as simple as I can, but as soon as I start explaining stuff, I realised it probably sounds a bit complicated. But that's it for this video. I'll come back later today. I've got a few ideas about some tokens that I think are going to do really well in 2022 that might be worth getting. As ever, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy on the internet. Sometimes I don't know what I'm doing, but sometimes I do. Happy farming, everyone. If you're not involved with Maiar or SwissBorg or Crypto.com or whatever, please do use the links in the description below. Some of them are referral links, some aren't. If it's a referral link, they're only ones where you get a benefit and I get a benefit, so it gives me a little bit of incentive to keep doing these videos, which I must admit I'm loving doing, and I'll keep doing them as long as I'm getting likes and subscribes, which I seem to be doing. So if you haven't already, please do like, subscribe, comment, tick the notification bell, and tell your friends.